bands that don't have necessarily that warm blood flow through their music right now, because it is just pure 55 different rhythms in one song, and when the song's done, you can't hum a damn thing. I can't remember 1 second of that song. I guess you kind of have to go through this period for someone to finally pop out, like Dust Bowl did for me. Someone has meaning to songs, and it makes you want to put your hands in the air, and you want to listen to the album. The minute it's finished, you want to listen to it again because it's so good. I don't know, maybe this is the transition of that full circle, or maybe it is going to go back and it's going to be bands that are sounding closer to the old school stuff, but we got to weed through all these technical bands.
I think also the perception now, at least, is that metal is for the kids. Like, we have to make metal that will make that 15-year-old go out and buy it. And I don't necessarily think that's fair or true. I think
it's dangerous if that's the mindset of people, because for God's sakes, let that 15-year-old find Beneath the Remains and let them go, okay, my God, now I see what my dad was freaking out on as a teenager, and now I see what metal used to be compared to a 15-year-old right now that only heard like Psychroptic and these dudes, the Rivers guys. They're just unbelievable. They're playing shit that I couldn't, even if I practiced 20 hours a day, I wouldn't even be able to do it. But there's no true heartbeat for me, and maybe I think a 15-year-old that first hears that, then they hear Obituary and like, that's old man music. It's boring, and I like I like talking metal and technical, and I don't know. I think they get spoiled a little bit if they haven't dove into a Sepultura or a Cannibal or something beforehand.
Yeah, and I think that's metal is definitely not an old man's or a man's game anymore. I think pretty much anything goes, and that's why it's hard to see it fall in such a tight funnel.
Yeah.
And not go where we all know it can, or where it not necessarily where it has been, but at least have that heartbeat and reminiscence.
I mean, the good thing is it's a big old planet with a lot of people with 2 ears on their head, so their style of music is up to them, and if they like 1,000-mile-an-hour beats, I'm good. I'm actually glad that there's bands catering to that, because I can't, and I won't. But that's, you can't stop bands from doing what they want to do, and drummers becoming who they are. Just, you got to let it go and do your thing, and fans will find what they like, and with Obituary, Lord knows we're not making any money on album sales, so hopefully the die-hard fans that do buy the record, they just appreciate what we're doing, because we love metal music. That's what we're doing. We're not doing it to try and pay the bills, or I would be a country drummer, I think, because the industry is just not there,
Yeah. So you had a contest for the new album artwork, and what was it, to Photoshop or put your head on?
Yeah, that was actually not even a contest. That was just allowing people to interact and put their face on the torso. We just did a contest for vocals. What we did was, when we were mixing the record, we did a mix of the song Violence, but we muted John's voice, and John doesn't print his lyrics, so people had to make up their own lyrics, and they actually did a fabulous job. So they were able to go and download the song and film themselves singing it, and then they uploaded it to YouTube, and all the entries went to a certain place, and we all sit there, and I mean, I was on the ground laughing. Some of the dudes actually did a great job, like, it was unbelievable, and we picked the winner and two finalists, and they won some cool shit, and it was just I think it's a fun way to, again, Obituary's not afraid to kind of not take things too serious, don't take metal too serious, it's just music.
Yeah.
So we did that, and we had a blast with it, and now we're doing the same thing. We did the same song. This time we kept the vocals in it, and we muted the solo. And so now, like, real dudes can have a blast and do whatever they want on the solo parts of that song. So that contest is going on right now. And we'll start watching those as well these next couple weeks.
So out of those 3 winners that you picked, how many of them were serious? Did you have any that were comedy only?
There was a ton of them, and we tried as a band, especially on the road. It was hard because this bus doesn't have Wi-Fi. We've been in Canada, so a lot of times we couldn't necessarily watch too many. So the record label was helping us. They narrowed it down to like dozens of people, and so we sat there, and the ones that were silly, we got a giggle out of, but that was about it. Then the dudes that took it real serious, we put them in their own categories, and then there was the edge of doing a great job with the performance, but in his mom's living room and doing silly things in between the song. That's actually the dude that won, because like us, he was having a good time with it. He wasn't too serious about it, but he actually pulled it off, and it was just cool. It was a cool, weird thing that I don't know if many bands do that, especially not giving the lyrics up and them having to make up their own words.
No, I don't think. I think that metal is afraid to be creative these days. I think people listen and create in fear because there's this monger metal elitist. Some judge is going to tell you what's right and wrong and that you're a poser or not. But I think what's great about metal, modern metal, or metal these days that's been around 3 decades, is that everybody can find something that they like, and you shouldn't listen or go find music in fear. You shouldn't be afraid to like anything.
Right. I mean, and since the beginning of time, music has always been there. Even when it was just some dude with a banjo back in the day, music is there when people are done with their day and their career and their life or in their school or whatever. Music's there to sit back and just release and enjoy yourself. And all of a sudden it went from that to everyone's so serious about metal and talking on social networking and listening to people comment with each other and fighting over things. It's just people forgot what music is put on this planet for, which is enjoyment. Yeah. I think anyway. I mean, whether it's super heavy music that puts you in a weird mood, it's still supposed to be there to enjoy and not do anything else. I mean, really.
I think as long as Metallica and Megadeth are still around, then we can avoid all of the conversation about who's better than who.
Right.
Because those two bands are just always going to be who's better than the other.
Yeah. And again, with Obituary, man, we don't take things too serious. We don't wear leather jackets and paint our faces. We're realistic guys. I live in Florida, man. You ain't wearing a leather jacket in Florida. You won't even make it to your mailbox if you're wearing a leather jacket. Mm-hmm. It's just too hot. And we let the music do the talking. We are who we are. We're not going to change. It's been this long, and we're enjoying what we do.
So you're not going to put out a pop punk album?
No, I wouldn't never say never, but not tomorrow. We're not.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you. I'm sure you've got a bunch of stuff to do, and I think we covered pretty much all of the bases. We've been here almost half an hour, so it was really great. Thanks.
Awesome. I hope you got what you